What if the devastating wildfires sweeping Los Angeles could have been prevented? This is the provocative question new presidential candidate Donald Trump posed in his latest public statement, sparking both outrage and renewed debate on the causes and prevention of wildfires in the United States. As flames engulf neighborhoods, displacing thousands and causing billions in damages, Trump's comments have redirected attention to the contentious intersection of environmental policy, urban planning, and governmental accountability. As of this week, Los Angeles County is grappling with one of the worst wildfire seasons in recent history. The ongoing blazes have consumed over 200,000 acres of land, destroyed approximately 3,500 structures, and forced the evacuation of more than 150,000 residents. Emergency services are stretched thin, with firefighters working around the clock to contain the infernos amid record-breaking temperatures and gusting Santa Ana winds. The fires, which began in late December, have been exacerbated by prolonged drought conditions and high levels of vegetation, creating a tinderbox effect across Southern California. While the immediate focus remains on rescue and containment efforts, the discourse surrounding the underlying causes has become increasingly polarized. In a statement released on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump asserted that the current wildfire crisis is less about climate change and more about poor forest management and local government negligence. He wrote, "These wildfires are a tragedy, but they're also preventable. For years, I've been saying that proper forest maintenance, including controlled burns and clearing out dead trees, is essential. Instead, California has ignored these basic principles, and now we're seeing the consequences. This isn't just about climate change, it's about bad leadership and incompetence." Trump's comments immediately drew criticism from environmental scientists and political leaders who argue that climate change remains the primary driver of extreme weather events, including wildfires. California Governor Gavin Newsom responded by calling Trump's remarks politically motivated distractions that downplay the severity of climate-related risks. Experts overwhelmingly agree that climate change plays a significant role in the intensification of wildfires. Rising global temperatures have led to extended droughts, reduced snowpacks, and earlier melting seasons, all of which contribute to drier conditions and an increased likelihood of fires. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA), 2024 was the hottest year on record, with California experiencing unprecedented heat waves. "Climate change is the accelerant," said Dr. Sarah Martinez, a climate scientist at UCLA. "It's creating the conditions that allow fires to grow larger and spread faster than ever before." While forest management is important, it's not a substitute for addressing the root cause, greenhouse gas emissions. While Trump's emphasis on forest management has been criticized, it's not without merit. Many experts agree that practices such as controlled burns, mechanical thinning, and removing dead vegetation are essential components of wildfire prevention. However, the implementation of these measures is often hampered by logistical challenges, budget constraints, and legal barriers. California's forests are a mix of state, federal, and privately owned lands, making coordinated management efforts difficult. Federal lands, which account for 57% of California's forests, fall under the jurisdiction of agencies like the U.S. Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management. Critics point out that during Trump's presidency, funding for these agencies was reduced, complicating efforts to implement proactive forest management strategies. "The blame game doesn't help anyone," said Mark Reynolds, a wildfire mitigation specialist. "We need a unified approach that combines better forest management with aggressive climate action. Focusing on one to the exclusion of the other is a recipe for disaster." Trump's comments have reignited partisan debates over environmental policy. Republicans have long argued that Democratic-led states like California prioritize climate change initiatives at the expense of practical solutions such as forest management. Democrats, in turn, accuse Republicans of using forest management as a smokescreen to avoid addressing the larger issue of fossil fuel dependency. This political divide has tangible consequences for federal funding and legislative priorities. The Biden administration has pledged billions in climate resilience funding, including measures to improve wildfire prevention and response. However, these efforts face opposition from Republican lawmakers, many of whom view such spending as excessive and ideologically driven. Amid the political wrangling, the human toll of the LA wildfires continues to mount. Families have lost homes, businesses, and loved ones. Communities are grappling with air quality so poor that schools and outdoor activities have been suspended indefinitely. Emergency shelters are overflowing, and local hospitals are treating an influx of patients suffering from smoke inhalation and heat-related illnesses. For many residents, the debate over causes and solutions feels distant compared to the immediate challenges of survival and recovery. "We don't care who's to blame," said Maria Lopez, a Los Angeles resident who lost her home in the fires. "We just want help and answers." As the wildfires rage on, the urgent question remains: how can California and the nation better prepare for and prevent such disasters in the future? Experts suggest a multifaceted approach that includes enhanced forest management, increasing funding for controlled burns, thinning projects, and removal of hazardous vegetation, accelerating the transition to renewable energy and reducing greenhouse gas emissions to mitigate the long-term effects of climate change, infrastructure investment, building more resilient communities with fire-resistant materials, improved evacuation routes, and advanced early warning systems, public education, raising awareness about fire safety and encouraging individual preparedness measures such as creating defensible space around homes. The wildfires currently ravaging Los Angeles and surrounding areas have illuminated the urgent need for a unified approach to disaster management. Environmental scientists, policy experts, and community leaders agree that mitigating wildfire risks will require addressing both immediate and systemic issues. However, finding common ground remains a challenge in an era of heightened political division. One proposal gaining traction is the expansion of public-private partnerships to fund wildfire prevention efforts. By pooling resources from government agencies, private corporations, and nonprofit organizations, proponents argue that it is possible to accelerate the implementation of fire mitigation projects while fostering innovation in wildfire detection and suppression technologies. Initiatives such as satellite-based fire monitoring systems and AI-driven risk assessments are already showing promise in reducing response times and enhancing coordination among firefighting teams. Simultaneously, policymakers are being urged to revisit zoning laws and land use regulations to minimize the vulnerability of communities located in fire-prone areas. This includes restricting new developments in high-risk zones and incentivizing retrofitting existing structures with fire-resistant materials. Urban planners emphasize that integrating wildfire risk considerations into city planning is crucial for building long-term resilience. The challenges faced by California are not unique. Across the globe, countries are grappling with increasingly severe wildfire seasons driven by climate change. In 2023, Canada experienced its worst wildfire season on record, with smoke plumes spreading as far as Europe. Similarly, Mediterranean nations like Greece and Turkey have seen devastating wildfires that have disrupted tourism and caused significant ecological damage. International cooperation is being touted as a potential solution, with experts calling for greater collaboration in sharing best practices, research, and resources. Organizations such as the United Nations Environment Programme (UNEP) have emphasized the need for a coordinated global response to address the root causes of wildfires while supporting affected nations in recovery and rebuilding efforts. As the flames continue to burn, one thing is certain: the current trajectory is unsustainable. Whether through better forest management, aggressive climate action, or innovative technological solutions, a collective effort is needed to safeguard lives, livelihoods, and ecosystems. Policymakers, scientists, and citizens alike must come together to tackle this multifaceted crisis with urgency and determination. The Los Angeles wildfires serve as both a warning and a call to action. The decisions made in the coming months and years will not only shape the future of California, but also set a precedent for how societies worldwide confront the growing threat of wildfires in a warming world.